so I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the channel and everything that's going on. We got school coming up in about a month, so I just want to try to pump out as many videos as I can. A couple of things with the Mustang. I have yellow seatbelts coming in, so I'll be making a video on how to take out your seatbelts, how to replace those, and that's actually going to be made with Safety Restore, which actually you take yours out, you ship them to them, and they ship you back your same seatbelts, but with whatever color you want. I think that's going to match with the yellow calipers pretty well, and you'll be able to see that, you know, across your chest whenever you're driving. I'll make it step by step exactly how you will have to take out your seatbelts, so that way you guys can use that as a reference and just use that. I remember taking this road when I first did my brakes and I had to bed them in. Oh man, it looked like I was so stupid. I'd basically gas it and then have to hit the brakes as hard as I could so that way I could bed in the brakes. Another thing too is I have a design made for t-shirts. It is pretty expensive because there's a lot of colors that are actually on the design. I'm going to show you guys the image right here, a little mock-up of a custom design, and tell me what you guys think. Should I go with a different design? Is this one pretty cool? Should I go with that one? I'm really all ears and I'm pretty curious to see what you guys think. Oh, the sun, but you guys will complain if I put this visor down. Another thing coming in is I have a shift knob that's completely custom that should be coming in here next week or so. I mean, that's pretty small, but it can make a pretty big difference, especially with the MT82. It could definitely smoothen out some shifts. So, you know, I'll probably give you guys a little review of that, but this should be a fun one right here. Merging onto the freeway. You guys actually asked me a lot how many miles are on my car. It's a 2013, and it's kind of funny how many people care about how many miles are on someone else's car. But, you know, I'll answer the question. It's 80,000 miles or so, like 81,000 now. So to dig into that a little bit more on the topic of today's video, I just want to talk about the reliability of Mustangs and kind of what you should look out for if you're picking one up. But to do that, I'm going to drive to one of my favorite talking spots. I made a couple of videos over there, so I'm going to drive over there. You guys just enjoy the ride, and I'll see you when I get there. Let's see how traffic is today. It may not be too bad. It's kind of later. We'll find out. Completely empty. That's always nice. Finally, you guys got to see what it's like to have an empty freeway on that on-ramp. It's probably one of the best on-ramps right there. Alright, bud. Hop into my fucking lane. Alright, we made it. She's looking gorgeous right here at this golden sunset. Oh my lord. But yeah, see that yellow caliper? I really want yellow seatbelts. I mean, you guys can't tell because it's tinted, but imagine these bad boys nice and yellow to match. That's gonna happen pretty soon. Just gotta take these out, which means I have no Mustang. So I want to record a couple of videos with the Mustang and get that out to you guys while it's gonna have like a little bit of downtime while my seatbelts are sent over to, I think, Massachusetts. So like I was saying, the topic of this video is the reliability of Mustang in 5.0s in general. And you guys asked how many miles. 81,000, 2013. I think I'm the third owner of the car and I've had zero problems. Now, what's my experience with Mustangs? Okay, so this is my first Mustang. However, this is actually my family's fourth. My mom had a 2010, which is a 4.6, which it's not included in the 11 to 14 5.0 category. Then she had a 13 Sterling Gray, and then now she has a 14 Sterling Gray 5.0. All of those have been manual. So this is actually our fourth one, and she still has her 14 Sterling Gray right now. Let's just speak really quickly about the motors and some of the problems maybe you could have with a 5.0. If you have an 11 to 12, you might have some issues with cylinder 8. I heard those are problems. However, I kind of mentioned this in another video where the tuners were learning on those cars because it was the first time the 5.0 came back. So a lot of those issues were actually happening to tune cars. And I think it's because tuners were still learning the car. I think if you get 11 to 12 now, you're pretty strong. When you start getting into boosts and stuff like that, you're gonna want a 13, 14, and here's why. Those hood struts though. 13-14 cars got like 8 horsepower bump over the 11 to 12 cars, and really the main thing was they had something to do with the oil squirters, which fixed the cylinder 8 issue, I believe, because I haven't ever heard of that on a 13-14. In general though, the motors are pretty much the same. The 13-14s have a little bit different styling, which as you guys know, I really prefer because of the LEDs and all that stuff. But I just want to let you guys know, on a 15 to 17, actually the Mustang 5.0s got even more reliable. Technically this 13 is a Gen 2 Coyote. The new ones are called the Gen 3 Coyotes, or I guess the Gen 4 Coyotes is now the 18. But the 15 to 17s are the Gen 3s, and those things could hold like 700 horsepower, no problem. The only thing though is they're butt ugly. I just want to ruffle all you guys with the S550s right there. I just want to ruffle your feathers, but really there's some nice looking 15 to 17s. I just really prefer the 13-14s, and that's just being honest. Look at Anthony's car, for example. That is a 2017 with 700 horsepower with just a supercharger slapped on. Nothing else opened, not even the transmission, clutch, anything. Now a common problem is the MT82. So a lot of the MT82s are kind of deemed trash because the people that drove them really don't know how to take care of them. You have to be very deliberate. You can't be just smashing through gears, grinding and stuff like that. If sometimes you don't really think it all through and you just kind of half going into gear and it grinds a little bit in your current car, I wouldn't suggest picking up an MT82 because you definitely need to be on your toes like 89% of the time, just because if anything slips up, you're gonna have a bad time with the grinding MT82 that's gonna lock you out. Now speaking of lockout, a lot of you guys have second to third gear lockout. Now what that's doing is because the pressure plate is actually flexing out, and it's a clutch issue. It's not really a transmission issue, it's a clutch issue. You can easily upgrade to another clutch if you really want to power shift and bang through gears. I especially really like the Mantics. I think I talked to Steve over at Monster Clutches about getting a custom clutch made for my car. There's tons of options that you can go with that will upgrade your clutch. It's really just the stock clutch that's the bad thing. But if you're getting one that's higher mileage or it's been kind of beat on, I would really look into getting a new clutch. Back under the hood, something that's plagued all Coyotes really is the barbecue igniter tick. It's like this tick, 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 tick sound whenever you're at an idle. Mine actually doesn't have it that bad. I know it's a lot of people that, you know, it happens right after you do your first oil change from the dealer. It just boom starts up, and that's pretty much it. Now a lot of people have said, oh, I have it, they're worried about it, but again, people with knowledge and with experience just say like, go ahead and send it because everything is just fine. It's a typical Coyote tick, and really what I think it comes from is the fuel injection. I think just the way that the fuel squirters are working and the injectors are working, I think they make a lot of ticking and loud noises. Now another thing is, you guys have asked me, does my hood peel? I don't know why, but that seems to be a pretty common issue on Mustangs. Not for me though, because of where I live. I live in California. This is a California car. It's also garage kept. So this thing is actually pretty good. Now logically that just comes from the elements and wearing out your paint. Maybe Ford doesn't have the best paint, but I kind of take care of mine. I throw it in the garage, I keep it out of the sun as best as I can. I mean, obviously you drive it, but yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to how you take care of the paint. You can do a lot of things like putting UV coating, sealants and waxing and protectants and stuff like that on there, and that'll really go a long way, especially if you intend on keeping the car forever like I do. Oh man, she's looking freaking gorgeous. I just had to take a pause right there because whew, she's looking nice. So a lot of this data is coming from car complaints, but I can see which you guys are having issues with your cars. You know, body and paint problems, paint bubbling, peeling, instrument cluster rattle, taillight blackout, trunk leaking. None of that really happens with me. I personally haven't had any issues with my car. My mom hasn't had any issues with her car. What's funny is actually the transmission on the 2010 had like third gear blowout, so she needed to get a new like third gear put in and I think a full transmission, but that was on the 2010. And I don't think they use the MT82 like the 5.0s do. Maybe she learned her lesson and learned how to shift, I don't know. But shout out to mom, she's had 3 different Mustangs. Really, I have to blame her for my addiction. A lot of things that wear out, they're gonna wear out normally on every high mileage sports car, you know, because these cars are pushed pretty good every time they're driven. You know, this car does not necessarily just go 55 on the freeway and pound miles maybe like a Corolla does. People that buy these cars usually buy them to drive them. The only thing that's holding me back from buying bags and slamming this thing on the ground right now is I have some work VSXX wheels for sale. So if anybody wants those, DM me on Instagram. I'll put a little picture up or a description of them, because these wheels are really just ready to be rebuilt and they can be relipped and everything to whatever spec you want. And whoever buys those for the right price, I'll be getting bags. So you'll be funding part of my bags. I've kind of rambled on long enough, but really the main point of this video is if you're scared to go buy a Mustang, just go buy it. I don't think people are gonna have that many issues with them. A lot of things that go wrong, all you gotta do is upgrade. If you have one that's kind of beat up and you can tell it's been ran through, I would say just have a couple extra bucks in your pocket, talk down the price, make sure you have some cash stored so that way you can upgrade and fix any of those issues. If there are any video ideas that you guys have, leave them down in the comments below because I definitely read all those comments, and if you guys want a specific video, I will go ahead and make it. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up right here. So if you guys enjoyed, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.